innuendo. Um,
Do we have a Roll20 link, or is it just
If you just hover over to the left, you'll see it. So.
Oh, you want to just launch it from?
You just launch it from there. Yeah, that's fine.
Right, gotcha.
We're live now, by the way. Let's go ahead and just, if you guys want to go around, just introduce yourselves. I'll start. My name is Jason, and I am I'm involved with the Gauntlet. So, cool. Josh, you want to go?
Sure. My name is Joshua, and I will be playing Valentine, Thrall of Melchior today.
Sweet.
Shall I go? My name is Issa, and I shall be playing Filion Dundillion today, and he is a gentleman thief.
Nice. We're just introducing ourselves and our character, Ed.
Okay. Do you want me to go next?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Edwin Tomlinson, and I'll be playing Mange Dirt Eater, the Druid.
Alright, I'm J.K. Lee, and I'll be playing Conley, the Immolator.
Awesome. Let's just real quickly just go around the table and just say just a little bit about your character. Just a couple sentences, real kind of brief overview. Why don't you start, Filion?
Filion is, as I said, a gentleman thief. He is a man who prides himself on his appearance and the way he looks, and he's far more at ease carousing and having fun with the ladyfolk at kind of parties than delving into deep dungeons. So he's generally unhappy and unassured of himself when he's doing those duties.
All right, awesome. Ed, tell us about Mange Dirt Eater. I always want to say Dirt Minge Eater, and it's like.
Yeah, I have been trying to reconsider whether I should change the name by deed poll. Actually.
Yeah, hey, tell us about Mange and also launch Roll20.
Yeah. So Mange is a sturdy halfling from the Prismatic Valley, which is effectively very volcanic caldera, which was created as a result of two battling mages. She's a caretaker of that region, and she's currently roaming to find a way of rescuing it from its own destruction, which it is on the verge of. So,
awesome, cool. Lee, tell us about your character, who I am pulling the name up of now, Conley of Clacton.
Hey, he got it. Yeah, Conley of Clacton, as is his full title, is a sort of elderly by medieval standards man, dressed in the robes of a simple priest. He's got a bit of a dishevelled look about him, like long wild hair and big floppy mustache and beard, but not like completely mangy, as it were. He carries himself with sort of a humble and like warm, like kindly old man demeanor.
Awesome, cool. And finally, tell us of Valentine Kruppen.
Yeah, Valentine Kruppen is probably dressed fairly similarly to Mr. Clacton. He looks a little bit like a Russo whaler turned fist. He's in some like hard-worn robes, and his armor and his weapons seem very patched together and more like efficient and brutal than like there's any finesse about him. And he's a younger man, but might come off right off the bat as a little schizophrenic, and he sort of whispers to himself with some consistency.
Awesome, cool. All right, so it'll be helpful to have just a little bit of context for this adventure, which will take place over the course of 2 sessions. We saw some of these characters previously in another adventure called The Castle of the Dreaming Doors, and in that adventure, they were exploring a castle of this ancient family called the Castafiels. And while they were there, they found a vampiress named Urbina, who was a Castafiel, and who was trapped there, like magically trapped. She wasn't able to leave. And Filion sort of like formed a relationship with her and kind of a bond. And they had a little thing going on that they revisited periodically, like while the greater exploration of the castle was going on. But anyway, long story short, Filion had to destroy her as part of a deal with death because Filion went to the Black Gate. And so it's helpful to have that little tiny bit of context for this. It doesn't have much other bearing on anything, but it's just worth knowing. So you're each a member of the Company of the Three Kings, which is a very loose affiliation of adventurers, travelers, sages, who meet periodically to talk about the things they've done. Occasionally they get direct correspondence with people who want things done or who have tasks or quests, that they need help with. And you are all here ostensibly, initially, in response to one of those. And the reason why this caught your eye is because this request came from a woman called Lugana Castafiel. And so that name, I think, is what has caught Filion, and at least Filion Mage's attention, right? And also a character named Fiona the Volatile, who'll be joining soon. So you were asked to meet Lugana Castafiel at the steps of the Great Temple of Oron in the city of Kanalata, and that's where we're going to pick up. This city of Kanalata is, I'll type that in the chat so you guys can refer to it. This city is it's a Venice-like fantasy city. There are huge, like, beautiful buildings, and very, very, like, sort of, Gothic architectural style with waterways that crisscross and weave throughout, right? If you take a look at the Roll20, you'll see the bigger image is a good idea of kind of a common sight in this city, right? There are huge, like, buildings and structures and the waterways go directly into, right? And so that's just to give you a sense of like what this city is like. It's a grand city. It's a very old city. And you are there. I think all of you have some familiarity with the city. Some of you may have more connections there than others, and we can talk about that. But initially, this is why you're here, just to respond to this summons by this woman, Lugana Castafiel. Now, the way this is going to proceed here initially is we're going to have just a little sort of in media res thing to kind of blood the characters a little bit, so to speak, and then we'll have a little scene with Lugana, and I will pose some questions to each of you. We'll take a little break, get some water, and that way you guys can also think of the answers to your questions, and then we'll come back and we'll proceed. So, does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, oh, sorry, Josh, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay. So we'll kind of do a little opening scene here. You are all it's nighttime. You have just taken a gondola to the steps leading up to this very, very grand temple. This temple is inside a bigger structure even, right? Not unlike what you see on the Roll20 here. It's night. There are tall like braziers that like burn with oil that kind of light different parts of the area, right? Not much moonlight gets in because of the overhead, right? But there are sort of like cuts or like gashes in the stone that let a little bit of moonlight come in. But mostly everything is lit by these like torches that are all around, right? And you're on the steps at the on the day and the hour that you believe you are there to meet this woman, Lugana. And you start to see some figures surrounding you. They are mostly wearing black cloaks and black hats, but they also have like these sort of gold like carnival masks on, right? And if you look at the Roll20, there's a good idea of what I'm talking about over on the right. That character there. There are about six of them in total. 5 of them look like the guy on the right here, and the 6th, who appears to be the leader of some sort, he's wearing a similar mask, but his coloring of his robes and the sort of accoutrement of his outfit are more deep blue, but it's kind of hard to tell in the light, right? They aren't saying anything, but they are surrounding you, and they're cordoning you, and they're drawing rapiers as if to attack. I'm going to go around the table real quickly, just ask what everyone's doing in preparation for this moment, and then we'll get it going. So, Mange. You're muted.
Well, I'm not at ease in city-like areas anyway, so I'm
Quite
always
unusual for you, right? Yeah.
I'm ready to go at a moment's notice. So as soon as I see the flash of weapons, I ready my own in preparation.
All right, awesome. And what do you carry for a weapon?
A spear.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Great. What about you, Filion Dondillion?
Filion will theatrically swoosh his cloak backwards to reveal his rapier.
Nice.
And something of note is that there are some feathers dangling off the pommel of the rapier, one red, one white.
Nice. Does it have any significance that you care to share?
Not at this stage, no.
All right, sounds good. What about you, Conley? Or I'm sorry, that's not your name. Your name is not Conley. I keep on. Is it Conley? It is Conley.
It is Conley. I was wondering where you're going. Yeah, I'm from Clacton. It's a little hamlet. You wouldn't have heard of it. Now these guys are all wearing like carnival masks, right?
Right. And sort of like cloaks and black, like black leather.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
No, but this main guy with all the flash on him, are his eyes like still visible in the darkness, or are they like obscured as well?
They all seem fairly visible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna stare him down. I'm gonna look him directly in the eyes to see what his deal is.
Indeed. Does that trigger one of the moves?
It does. It lets me ask, what fuels the flames of your desire?
Oh, indeed. Shall I answer now?
Yeah, if you will.
The things that fuel the flame of his desire is, right now his desire is to serve his mistress, and his desire is to serve his mistress and to perform a test, or to administer a test. That makes sense. And what about you, Valentine?
Valentine will look up sort of distractedly for just a moment, almost listening to voices that aren't there, and then say, yes, I will. And he'll grip the haft, sort of twist the haft of his really ugly studded club. Think of whatever the medieval equivalent of like a crudely studded bat is, and like take one step up and slam it right into the first guy that's closest to
Oh, man.
Initiating the conflict. I love it. Roll hack and slash, sir.
Is there a place you want me to roll here, or should I just roll my own dice?
You can roll your own dice. Doesn't matter.
Okay. That is a 7.
A 7. Okay, you'll be trading blows. So go ahead and just roll your damage, and he does a d6 to you.
Okay, spectacular. So I'm a d6 as a cleric, and that's a 6.
Is it a d6?
Yeah. Okay. And he does 5 in return minus my 1 armor.
Okay, awesome. That's great. Yeah, do you want to just give us a little bit of fiction? What does it look like there?
Yeah, so, I think rather than trade blows, I think what happens is I step up and brain this guy. And I don't know whether or not I take him down, but I think that getting slammed sort of out of the blue is going to take him off balance. I'm going to hit him right on the side of the head. Maybe the mask goes skittering into the canal, and then the guy next to him stabs me somewhere non-vital in the ribs.
How much damage did you do to him?
I did 6.
Okay, that'll take him out. And in fact, he kind of like spins and reels as you kind of brain him on the side of the head, and you would expect him to like land and kind of like slump to the ground, but in fact he falls very quietly into just a pile of silk cloth and the mask. And then the other guy, like as you described, comes up and kind of stabs you on the shoulder or whatever. All right, Mange, go for it. What do you do?
Okay, so what do the rest of the group do?
They're all they're just coming in, like they're just cordoning around you. They're just tightening around you, getting ready to stab you. I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy for you. You got one guy who's coming out, and he's you're halfling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, he's basically like coming in with like a series of quick strikes, down, in a sort of like very precise strikes in a downward motion, right, to try to get at you. So what do you do then?
Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to try and do is shove my spear up into his skull under his chin.
Yeah.
And as I do that, I'm going to try and roll behind them and come up with some sort of animal form to come up with to get the attack from behind. As I do that, which I need to have a moment's thought to think what that might be.
I love the give me the hack and slash for your sweet move.
Okay. Dice roll, dice stream. How shall I do it in roll 20?
Doesn't matter.
Or
just tell me. Just call out the number when you have it.
It's plus strength, isn't it?
Yes.
That's 8.
Okay, awesome. It'll be the same deal. I don't think he's going to hurt you, but I think he's going to. You dive underneath, and you do manage to stab him, and I think he just kind of like kicks you and kind of dazes you a little bit, and so you'll take a -1 forward as you clear your head. But in the meantime, go ahead and roll your damage on him.
26. Three.
That's enough. Same deal. Your spear finds resistance initially, but then none, and it's just like a cloak and a mask like collapses, right? The leader is now kind of stepping really aggressively towards you, Filian. This is the guy who's got the sort of blue feathers on his headdress, and he's stepping really aggressively towards you, and he's even doing like little fancy sword tricks, right? But he's getting ready to engage you. What do you do?
I will attempt to distract him first by unpinning my cloak very quickly and spinning it onto his face.
Oh, nice. I like that. Do a. What are you angling for here, result-wise?
I'm hoping to distract him momentarily so I can pierce him through the heart.
Oh, good. So you're gonna set up a backstab. That's good. Roll a defy danger. Dexterity.
Cool. I'll get a +2 on dex after this. That's a 12.
Perfect. Describe how what you do sets him up for a backstab.
So he was able to unclip the pin from this cloak and just fling the cloak kind of elegantly through the air. It wraps around his face as he imagined it would, and for a moment the assailant is panicked and just goes for his face, at which point it gives me the opportune moment to strike into the heart.
I'll take the backstab now. Go ahead and roll
it. It's just the 6 nip backstab.
No, so I'm gonna make you roll the actual backstab roll. So it's like it's plus dex. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, cool. That's 9.
All right, awesome. Let's take a look at that move and see what you have to do. I should know it by heart by now, but I don't. Okay, so on 7 to 9, you're going to choose one. You don't get into melee. You deal your damage plus 1d6, or you create an advantage to give a +1 forward to one of your allies.
I'm going to go ahead and deal damage plus 1d6.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
So, that's 10.
That's enough. Go ahead and just give me the whole. Go ahead and wrap it up. He's gonna kind of collapse into a pile of cloth and a mask in the same way the other ones did.
Yeah. So, as completely expected, he drives forward with a strike, and it's just on the mark. And as he strikes, the rope falls apart and the mask falls on the floor as well. And
Yes.
Filian just goes and retrieves his cloak and swips it back on.
Nice. Okay. You've got 2 guys on you, Conley. They're coming in. They're trying to flank you. What do you do?
You said there were like braziers here, right? Sort
There
of very
are, yeah.
dimly illuminating the place. But
Yep.
are they hanging braziers, like on chains, or are they on legs?
It mostly on. I think around you, probably on legs, because there's not like an immediate overhang where you guys are at.
All right, yeah. So with these guys, yeah, so they're coming in on like opposite sides, right? So I'm just gonna stand my ground. I'm not gonna face either of them. I'm just gonna start like whispering, like almost imperceptibly, maybe like in a lower tone of voice than I tend to use socially. Um, and I'm gonna try, um, not coercing, but the other thing, gonna try persuading like the closest braziers to reach out and consume them.
No, nice. I like that. That's one of your moves? I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's it's Zuko style, and it's a wisdom roll.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead and roll plus wisdom.
Barely a 10.
Very, very good. So what happens on a 10?
On 10 plus, the fire does as you command, taking the shape and movement you desire for as long as it has fuel on which to burn.
Just roll your damage on them and describe your fire attack.
All right. Just gotta try and navigate my way back to the actual window where I'm seeing you all. It's 2016. It's got too much technology. So first of all. Sweet. Shall I roll separately for each?
No,
or,
that's enough for both. Just describe how you destroy them.
Cool. No, yes. So the flames from the braziers like lash out, almost like arms with like great fiery claws at them, and they just go like directly through the clothing, just immolating it in the process.
Nice, nice. There are two left at this point. You're all kind of in the middle. It's the fog of war. You're all rolling and clashing and stabbing and doing all your thing. But at a certain point, you hear a woman's voice call out from the bottom of the steps. She says, "That'll be enough." And those two stop, and they withdraw. What do you all do?
Roll my shoulders. That's fair.
I shoot my sword and turn around to introduce myself to her.
Indeed, indeed. Let me show you what you are looking at. Who you are looking at. Here she is. Drop her into the Roll20. She doesn't look anything like the meetup picture.
Fancy.
Very genteel.
She's very fancy, yes. A woman who looks just like that, keeping her face shrouded just like that, or at least barely out of, to where you can't quite see her eyes. Very graceful, very, very like regal, noble bearing, right? Corseted, the whole 9 yards, wide taffeta, black taffeta dress. She comes up the steps and she says, "I hope you will forgive my rather assertive pleasantries, but I needed to see if you were up to the task, and it appears you are." She kind of glances around at you all, and she kicks one of the cloaks with one of the masks kind of out of her way, and kind of presents herself in the middle of you all. The other two that are left, they kind of like take up positions behind her. She says, "My name is Lugana Castafiel, and I'm going to get straight to the point. My family, my ancestors, many centuries ago, were engaged in a series of crusades into other worlds to do battle with demons, the forces of evil, what have you. And enough of that will earn you a curse. And so we have a curse on our family that we have not been able to shake for a long, long time. But I think I've figured out the way to finally be rid of it, and I want your help in doing that." There's a man who lives in this city. His name is the Bone Cleric. I believe that if the Bone Cleric is destroyed, then the Castafiel family curse will be lifted. while this is all going on, while she's explaining all of this to you, Filion, um, she also turns to you at the same time as she's speaking, and she kind of like raises her head and shows you her like blood red eyes, and she whispers to you, so only where you can hear. She says, I was there. I was there when she met you first time. I was there when you worked your charms on her. I saw it all take place. I have never seen her be so happy. I think she was in love, and you killed her.
If anyone's watching that, you'll see that there's the blood has drained from my face.
She says, you're going to help me, Filion Domdillion. You're going to help make things right. And then she goes, but while that's happening, she's still explaining that everything she wants from the whole group, this bone cleric business. She has one of her men bring forward a little chest, and she drops it, and one of the men like pops it open, and it's just fat with coin, right? This little chest. She says, 3,000 coin as a down payment for your services, and 3,000 more when the job is done. She says, I don't know where the Bone Cleric is in this city. I only know that he's here. I've heard that he may be in a place called the Black Nest, or at least someone in a place called the Black Nest might know where he is. Sort of a subterranean part of the city, criminals and the sort. And then that's where we're going to stop before the break. I'm going to ask questions now of each of you. Not Filion. I don't have one for Filion, but for the others I do. Mange, she whispered something to you too during all of this that you were able to perceive while she was also saying what she wanted. And she whispered to you that she has something that's very important to your people, something that's been missing for some time. She says, whatever this thing is, it's in the possession of the Castafiels, and she'll give it to you, or she'll make sure you acquire it if you help her with this. Think about what that is. I'd like to know what that is. That's specific. It should be an object or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Conley. She whispers something to you as well. And she says, actually, I'm going to hold on to you for just a second. Melchior. Not Melchior. Valentine. She doesn't whisper anything to you, but Melchior does.
Yes.
Melchior, while this is going on, Melchior whispers in your ears some great offense that this man who calls himself the Bone Cleric has done to Melchior, and for which there needs to be punishment or atonement. I'd like to know what that is. So think about it. Mm-hmm. And let me look at my questions. Conley. She doesn't whisper. When she whispers to you, all she whispers to you is, when this is all done, she wants you to do a thing that she doesn't have the strength to do herself. I'd like to know what that is. Let's take just a 3 or 4 minute break. We'll reconvene at 55 after the hour, okay?
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Does she look like Abina?
Yes. There's a they have a certain paleness to their skin that they both share.
Oh dear.
This might be a good time to review flags too. So you guys can start thinking about them.
I'm gonna have a look at my sheet.
Yeah, I see this. Yeah, allow me to cause undue harm for your own benefit.
All right, cool. Looks like everybody's back. She doesn't even ask if you are taking the deal or not. She just leaves the money and then turns around with her men and walks off, just sort of assuming you're going to do it. What did Melchior tell you, Valentine?
So, this is what Melchior brought me here for. The Bone Cleric is the high priest of a rival, and his blood will be the sweetest sacrifice.
Very good. So the Bone Cleric is in opposition to Melchior.
Not so much opposition as they have the same niche.
Oh, okay. Good.
Maybe that makes it, yeah, in opposition, sure.
Well, in the sense of like, are they both trying to have this like over the same like sort of religious sphere? They're sort of trying to have
Yeah, kind of like that. Less light and dark, and more get out of my way. They're more sharks and jets.
It's pretty good. Seems like gods are very, very jealous, right? They're jealous type.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Mange. What do the Castafiels have? And it might be one of the reasons why you went to this castle to begin with, right? Didn't find it.
Yeah. Their legend has it that there is a single magical walnut that remains of one of the trees in the Prismatic Valley.
Okay.
The tree was basically eroded and eaten out and became the residence of one of the sorcerers that lived there, and it's slowly dying now. The wizards have gone, and I'm hoping this will be able to grow back into the tree that will restore the valley, stability of the valley.
Okay. Make a note.
I was looking up OSR, famous OSR wizards to try and fill the name in. I'll come back to you if you need it.
Hey, real quick, Mange. What is it about this walnut that, like, this is how you'll know, like how do you know it's the right one? Like, if she gives it to you, or if you come across it, like, how will you know this is it? Just visually or whatever.
I think people, custodians of the Prismatic Valley, will give off the same prismatic vapor that Mange gives off when she's, in her animal form.
That's your tell, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Good. Conley, your question is the most interesting. Well, they're all pretty interesting, but yours is the most interesting because it's so open-ended. What does she want you to do when this is all done that she can't bring herself to do?
So I might have gotten inspired by the whole the European romantic theme of a current saying. I think Lady Lugana, right? I'm
Yes.
not wrong. I'm terrible with names.
I'll type it.
I think I think at some point she travelled abroad in incognito for maybe ostensibly study or something, but probably for some nefarious social manoeuvring, right?
Mhm.
And while she was in some far off land, she took a lover. Let's call her Sarah, um, who she had a fleeting but fiery thing with, which should have simply ended when she left. But this Sarah, completely taken, has turned out to be something of a romantic heroine. Sort of a bodice-ripping protagonist, and is like swashbuckling her way back to our current whereabouts to Kanalata, to be like reunited with her love. Now, ostensibly, Lugana can't send any of our guards to deal with this because obviously she needs to be rid of this woman because of a scandal in the cause, right?
Right.
Ostensibly, she can't send any of her men because she can't be affiliated with it. She can't like get any of her many black cloaked hands dirty. But I've seen what fuels the fires of her heart, and she wouldn't be able to do it even under the darkest cover herself.
Okay, sounds good. I like it. I'll let you decide how that plays out at the end, or whenever you wish. If you see an opportunity for to do it. Good. Okay, cool. Sarah was her name, you said?
Hmm.
I'll remind you guys of the scene. We're at the steps, nighttime, at the steps of this temple, which is a pretty prominent feature in the city, which is probably why she wanted to meet there. And when I say steps, I mean like it's a very, very grand, like set of steps. Like think like going up to the like Museum of Modern Art or whatever, or like the Metropolitan Museum in New York, right? Those big, huge like flight of steps, right? There are a few charred cloaks and masks, or a couple of charred cloaks and masks, and a couple of non-charred cloaks, kind of like strewn about all about, and a chest of 3,000 coin sitting out in the open there, and Lugana and her men making their way back down into a gondola, ready to gondola away.
Yeah, we're going to all have to carry it given the group's collective strengths.
Yeah, it's got to be someone call like a carriage immediately.
I house rule
afford it,
coins.
right?
I house rule coins to be 1 weight per 500, so it's not as bad as it looks. So.
Okay.
I'll go ahead
I
and take
can,
the mask as well.
Well.
I say we take this back to our quarters and divvy it up.
What were you saying, Valentine?
I want to sniff at the cloaks and watch the guys walk back down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Valentine is deciding whether these are spirits or spells or constructs, and he would like to know.
Yeah, this seems reasonable. Do you want to cast a spell, or do you want to just do like a discern realities?
I think a discern reality or spout lore.
Okay, just spell lore.
Spout lore, okay.
Based off how you've described it as spell lore, so you can go either way, I guess.
Okay. So that's... Did that come up? That's 7, I believe. Yeah.
Right,
so
7?
I guess I get something interesting, but not...
Something interesting.
No. I take it back. I fail. I do fail.
Okay.
Yeah, to 6.
I'm going to take over. I'm going to take an opportunity to kind of take over your character for just a hot second.
Excellent.
So I think you're investigating this cloak and one of these masks and kind of watching these guys, and I think you have a sense that they're specters or spirits of some sort, right? Not constructs. They definitely, you're in tune with such things, and you can definitely feel like a sort of a residue of sort of like, sort of like residue of like some sort of like ectoplasmic, energy, right? And I think just on a lark, you pick up one of those masks and put it on, just to see what happens, and you do. You put on this mask, and you have a vision a vision that looks like a possibility. Maybe not a. It feels like a possibility, not necessarily a certainty. But you have a vision of how you might die, and you're literally looking into like sort of like a cross current of like the realms of the living and the dead, right? And you see a vision of how you might die. This is what it means for you in play. I want you to hold on to that, and we'll say it's a hold, and you can spend it right before any roll to describe how what's about to happen conforms to the vision you had, and then just explain how that was the case. If you do so, you get an XP, but the 6- result becomes last breath.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do that.
So just whenever it seems appropriate, like you could just be like, oh, this is it, and then explain, it's as a meta condition, to the table, explain how this is related to your vision, and then if you get a 6-, it's last breath. So It means that the vision was correct, or possibly correct.
So he'll look up and say, "These will not make good disguises," and push it back into the canal.
Indeed.
Philion pockets one anyway, surreptitiously.
Yeah, you can put it.
Yeah, do these masks appear to be like valuable?
Oh yeah, they have like an intrinsic value. Like they're like they have like sort of costume jewelry value, right? Yeah. You can have there would be you could probably retrieve like 3 of them in total. So.
Excellent, yeah, because the priest just chucked his share of the mask into the drink, so that's
I think Philion's developing slight klepto tendencies when it comes to the Castafiel, so...
He's a super fan.
It's like collecting Civil War memorabilia, right? All right, cool. All right, well, maybe take a look at your guys' flags. Just kind of remember your flags and kind of keep that in mind. But basically, the city is yours. She told you that she's given you basically a lead. She's not from this city, as it turns out, or at least not all the time. And in her discussion, which a lot of it happened off screen while she whispered to you, in her discussion, she mentioned that there's some sort of like a place for scoundrels in the city called the Black Nest, and that might be a good place to start. To start hitting the pavement, so you can figure out where this Bone Cleric is. Okay. So with that in mind, yeah, go ahead, Philion.
Philion would have had a few trips to the city on the behest of Cosimo Dondilion, the sort of the patriarch of the
Dondilion clan.
Indeed, yeah, and through various visits to Canalata,
yeah.
Yep. He would have established and developed a few underworld ties. So okay. I think he's going to just probably find a little street urchin that looks like they might be one of the runners for the folk of the Black Nest, and just send a message for a meet.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I know. Don't you have like a move related to like underworld dealings and doings?
I do. I've actually got connections, so I think I can get some info.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, let's say you find a little bird, right? Roll plus charisma. Let's see how it goes.
Just need to find out what my charisma was. It's +2. Oof, blimey, that's 5.
Go straight to the Black Nest. There's these guys looking for you.
Okay, I'm going to advance time a little bit. All right, let's say it's like the night is wearing on or whatever. You guys are going to go back to your, to the room that you've hired for for these days or whatever to divvy up coin. You've put out word, Philion, and you may get word. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and just give you the benefit of. I'm going to give you the benefit of the roll on a. Let's say you did a. I'm going to give you like something close. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Otherwise I'm going to offer my aid with my newfound rat kinship.
No. That actually might not be a bad move here. Do you want to try to aid before I do the hard move?
What do you think,
It's up to
Fillion?
It's up to Fillion. I mean,
Yeah.
I will tell you, I'm giving you the benefit of the success. There's just going to be something else going on. So.
It's up to you. I mean, it probably might not be necessary at this stage, but if you want to.
Okay, I'll let it ride then.
Cool. Unless you want to lessen the blow.
One thing you'll notice as you're kind of making your way back, Fillion, because you always kind of keeping your eyes open for like trouble, right? It's your nature, right? Especially in a city. This is a city full of thieves, right? Thieves and bravos and that sort of thing, right? You have seen it 2 or 3 times now. A pair of glowing red eyes staring at you all from side alleys, in low places, at a safe distance, but at a distance too far away that you could like run up and catch whoever it is. But you see them in the dark there, 2 glowing red eyes. Someone's watching you. But you'll get your info, and I'll kind of roll that out for you in a minute. Before that happens, before the little birds return with information for you, is there anything else anybody wants to do? Does anybody need a scene like right now, sort of a downtime scene?
I don't necessarily need a scene, but Valentine wants to go buy a goat.
Okay. It seems like a reasonable thing to want to do in the world, right?
Now we're playing a fantasy RPG. Now we're dungeon crawling.
Sure. What do you plan on doing with this goat?
Melchior says he wants a goat, and he also wants the bone cleric. So I want to leverage the goat for information.
Good. You could acquire a goat easily enough. Goat probably costs like 5 coin or something, right?
Okay.
So, are you gonna name it? Or are you just it's just a random goat?
Sure. I will name it Blackie.
Blackie. Is
yeah,
it black?
and it is a black goat. Yeah,
okay.
It is a black male goat, and
are you taking
I'll bring it out?
In?
Well, I want to do it somewhere likely. This is a dark city. It's nighttime. But yeah, somewhere by the canal, I imagine.
Okay.
I will perform the rite to sacrifice the goat ritually. Appeasing Melchior and hoping for some divine guidance.
Awesome. I love it. Go ahead and roll the spell. It's a great way of sort of on-screening the spell. It's good.
Yeah. So it's not a spell. It's a move, but there's no roll. If you'd like me to roll something, I'm happy to. Just let me know.
No. Oh, I see. When you petition your deity according to the precepts of religion. Oh, great. Oh, okay, cool. Well, so what's his domain?
What lies beneath.
Okay.
And he demands offerings.
Indeed. He will give you a vision. Melchior will speak to you of the Black Nest. The Black Nest is a subterranean place, okay, as it turns out. And so it fits with the idea of what lies beneath. And he will tell you that in the Black Nest, there is a person who... In the Black Nest, there is a person who sells cadavers and corpses, okay, for various illicit purposes, right? Unwholesome purposes. She has the key to finding the Bone Cleric once you find the Black Nest. Right?
Excellent.
What about you, Conley? Anything while we have this little downtime?
Yeah, I was wondering. We picked up these masks. Now I know Valentine seemed pretty spooked by them. Did we get the sense? I mean, from him, I don't know if you shared anything about Valentine about them having like some mystical quality, or is it just like he doesn't like masks?
Talk to Valentine about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would make the most sense to be like when we're packing up all the coin and everything. I'm just pocketing one of his masks. I've got giant great robes for hiding a loot in, right? I just turn to Valentine and go, "Why? What? Did you toss one of these into the canals? But my eyes are failing me."
So Valentine will sort of like grab onto your arm and look a little on the crazed side, and as he sees you sort of like toying with it, and just say, "Take care. There's a bad spell on this."
What? A spell of what sort? So I'm not blessed with your powers, I'm afraid.
I saw my own death. Nasty.
See.
Be careful.
And I think that might be like a flashback, and we flashlight back forward to me
staring at the mask.
me donning the mask, becoming the face of death. No, I don't know if we've even got like lodgings or shit anywhere. I'm probably just gonna be sat on a corner somewhere, just like fiddling with this mask in my hands. And I'm gonna be like running my hands along its edges, in like smooth motions, and gradually, like over the course of my entire downtime, I'm gonna fashion it into a dagger.
Oh, that's interesting.
Using the heat of my hands.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. Do you, as a mechanical thing, Lee, does the emulator have the ability to craft magical weapons, or is this a...
No, I can make any metal thing into like any other metal thing, but I can't like imbue it with anything.
Okay, I'm into this. So I'm going to the basic magical properties in the mask will remain intact, but I think in a slightly different way. We could talk about how, but I'll let you know if you decide to use that dagger. And if you have any ideas about how you think it might work, go ahead and just chime in whenever. But I'll be thinking about it as we play. So.
Yeah. So the original thing is that it shows like the wearer a vision of their death or something.
How they might die. Yeah, a
Cool.
possibility.
Cool.
What about you, Mage? What are you up to?
So normally my animal connections are not really appropriate for the city, but as I said, I've got this newfound connection with rats.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And which is obviously quite useful in this environment. I would imagine there's probably quite a lot of them skulking around the.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to. I'm just trying to work out what move might be appropriate, but I was going to try and do some sort of remote discern realities or something using.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. Yeah. How do the rats do they come up and just like whisper things in your ears, like things they see, or like how does that go? What does it look like on screen?
Yeah, I think basically I kind of sit in a quiet area where they'd be fairly rat infested, and they kind of swarm around me, and I kind of
nice.
That I kind of communicate with them, or there's some sort of communication going on, and they kind of swarm off. And I'm in a sort of meditative state, and then they slowly return with various bits of information as they kind of gather it.
I love it. That's perfect. We'll have it be a discern realities, just kind of like on the city, right? I mean.
Yeah.
Nice.
So let me just check my stats. I think it's +2. That's 11.
Okay, awesome. You can hold on to your questions. If you want to ask one now, you can. But if you want to hold on to them, like at an opportune moment, you can as well. Okay, so you'll have access to those questions whenever you need them. So
I'll
information.
Yeah, I think I'll save them and kind of ask as they kind of come up as we're going through the city.
Yeah, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and have the follow up here, Philly. I think it's later that night. You guys have scored a room at the at a beautiful place called the Svelte Elk, and you have rooms at the Svelte Elk. I'll type that in case anyone missed it. And the Svelte Elk is it used to be a very beautiful place, when this district of the city was a really was a fancier district, but now it's been kind of taken over by over the years it's been taken over by criminals, religious nut jobs, like the whole panoply of like unsavory sorts, right? And now the Svelte Elk is just it's just a faded memory, right? It's glorious faded, right? So what used to be plush velvets are now a little shabby, and the brass fixtures are a little tarnished, right? But it's cheap, and if you need to do things in the dark, it's a great place to do it, right? You will all be at a certain point. You're going to meet up with Fiona the Volatile, your companion. But there's no reason why you can't go ahead and start working on this until she arrives. So you're at the Svelte Elk. That's just to say where you guys have been. One of the little birds. I think there's some commotion at the bar, at the little sort of pub part of the inn, right? Because there's a little mangy kid who's no offense, Mange. There's a little mangy kid who's trying to get the innkeep to let him speak to you, and he's like, get out of here. But I think you see that. So what do you do, Fillion?
Please let the boy pass. He has a message for me.
This kid, he's a real hard-looking kid. Let's be honest. The place is surrounded in water, but he's filthy, right? And he hasn't managed to get in. Just nasty matted hair and real crooked teeth. Maybe 12 years old, right? And real, real rough. And he's like, I found out some information for you, my lord.
Okay, spill the beans, my boy.
He's holding out.
I turn to Fillion and go, my lord. How did you get away with that?
Be quiet, Mange. I'm gonna slide a little penny over to the kid and read the note.
Right. So he takes a coin and he actually was just going to tell you. He doesn't have an actual physical message. He says, Black Nest. We couldn't figure out where precisely it is, but I think there might be a secret entrance in a tavern called the Black Tankard, the Dark Tankard, maybe something like that.
Okay. Anything else?
He's like, no, that's all I got.
Well, that's good enough. I think that's great. I'm going to toss him over another penny and just say, for God's sake, have a wash.
He's like, don't you know water would make you sick, would kill you.
So I think at that point, Valentine is gonna walk into the door, having just dropped the butchered goat off his kitchens, with blood spattered up his arms, sleeves rolled up, and say, "I have a contact. I know who we need to talk to find the bone cleric."
I look Valentine up and down. Sorry.
Yeah. Mange, this is why they call me my lord.
Best of a bad bunch.
Puts a comb through his neat hair.
This woman, did you have much trouble getting the information out of her? I regard his elbow length blood stains.
No trouble at all. totally missing the subtext. No, very easy.
Yeah, I nod approvingly. Good. Gets the job done.
We need to find the woman sells cadavers down in the Black Nest. We can get there. We could find her. She has a key.
Josh, you're breaking up just a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Am I clear or am I breaking up?
Oh, there we go. I just couldn't hear you for a second.
Okay. So the woman sells cadavers. We need to find her. She has a key.
And that's in the Black Nest.
Inside the Black Nest. You can
Okay.
get us there. We can find them.
I think I might know a way. There's a place called the Black Tankard or a Dark Tankard. I've not heard of it, but it must be in one of the rundown areas of the city. Places I won't usually go.
Because you're a lord, right?
Yeah.
No place for a lord.
Good. I'm going to take a quick bio break. So it's like 2 minutes if you need it, or if you don't, you guys can just chat and discuss your next steps, okay?
Cool.
Cool. You know, I think I'm gonna go next door because the internet's better. So I'll just I'll catch you guys in a sec.
Alright, cool.
I see some of you guys have got flags. I was just quickly trying to look up what I'm meant to do with them and how I'm meant to come up with my own.
Yeah,
Oh,
I totally freestyled it, mate. I literally was typing away as some of the RP was going on. I think it's
So how does it operate exactly? Remind me.
Lee. Is it the way you want people to behave with you, right?
Yeah. But basically, you write a list of triggers for other characters to interact with you, and if they do the thing that it says, they get experience.
Oh, right, okay. So yeah, so it's a way of reaching out to the other characters.
Yeah. And so if you want like flag experience, you're gonna have to like look at the other characters and try to do those things.
Okay.
So just think about like how you want mains to like influence the group and whatnot, consciously or not consciously.
So, if I'm right, you get experience if you trigger someone else's flag, right?
Mm.
Got you.
Although it's sort of it's all dependent, like group to group, whether or not you get like experience every time or once per session. Some groups say that both players get experience. Some groups say just for triggering player. I don't know what Jason's like personal preferences.
Right. Probably makes sense for one per session, right? Or otherwise you could.
The variations I've seen is once per session or once per flag per session. So you don't get several XP per flag, but you can get like a maximum of like 4. Same as I think it's sort of the same as the original bonds, right?
Right.
I like them quite well. I think that they impact the action more than bonds did. Although bonds are cool too.
I'm a big fan of flags because it's sort of the only mechanic in Dungeon World, I think. Although obviously it's not innate, but it's the only mechanic I've seen in Dungeon World that all about like making you aware of other characters. It seems like Dungeon World, as opposed to a lot of PBTA games, is very much about just like your character and what he's able to do, and very little about like relationships.
That's true.
Yeah. It's nice to reward other players if they respond to you in the way that you want them to. Then it's kind of your character's development, and they're RPing that as well, which is quite nice.
Defer to his lordship in polite society. That's brilliant.
Okay, well, you guys have some information to go on now, so what's up? What's the plan?
It sounds like this. So there's a woman who knows the Bone Cake's whereabouts, and then there's also like separately in parallel, there's the black tankards.
The black tankard is supposed to be an entrance into the black nest. In the black nest is where you can find the woman who sells cadavers.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so black tankards, corpse woman, bone cleric, experience.
Or sudden death.
Yes.
Yeah. So some death along the way, evenly distributed. Yeah, but it sounds like next step is to actually fucking I could say this exact same thing in character, couldn't I? It's a waste. I just look around the table at the others, go, but sound good then.
Yeah, we don't know where it is, unfortunately.
Probably ask around. It's probably not.
Yeah,
Find a bar.
Yeah, the barkeep might know.
Absolutely right. He's like, no. There's no black tankard in Canalata. I know all the bars in Canalata. No black tankard.
Dark tankard? Any variant on that?
No, there's no dark tankard. There's a deep tankard.
There's a deep tankard.
That could work. Whereabouts is that?
And he'll scratch out the directions to get to the deep tankard. It's definitely in like one of the seedier parts of town. You're already in a seedier part of town.
Yeah.
Even seedier
keep getting seedier.
Yeah. You could just find a gondola rower and tell them that's where you want to go, right? So
yeah, perfect. It's late, right?
Yeah. If you guys are doing this all on the same night, yeah, it's pretty late at this point. Probably like
wait
after.
until tomorrow.
Yeah, perhaps a good night's sleep might be good.
I could do with a good night's rest. These old bones not quite what they used to be. Also, so like pat a fat jingling pocket. Like there's coins weighing me down. I think a bit of expenditure would see fit.
Yeah, I need to hide these coins in my mattress. No one would think to look there.
It's nighttime at the Spelt Elk. Late at night, I think you're sharing like big spenders. You just got paid 3,000 coins. You each have your own room, right? And Mange, you there are some rats like trying to get your attention right now.
Mm-hmm.
And your room is are you comfortable being in like a whole big fancy civilized inn room by yourself?
No, not really.
So probably you're not even asleep, right? Or at least not sleeping.
No.
Yeah.
I'm probably sitting cross-legged somewhere on the floor. Probably looking out the window. Probably on like because they've got quite deep window sills. She's probably sort of looking out the window.
Yeah. In that case, never mind the rats. In that case, you hear someone in the hallway outside your rooms, like taking very like soft boot steps, but clearly they're audible, but they're trying to be quiet, right? What do you do?
Okay, so you cut back to the windowsill, which is now empty. And Mange is standing next to the door and just with us holding a spear and opening it slightly.
Yeah. I don't need a roll here. You see a woman. She's dressed like a bravo. Cape, boots, knee-high boots, that sort of thing. Sword. And she's going to the rooms, and she's kind of she's listening at the doors a little bit. Like she's trying to like listen for conversations or things like that.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna step out and challenge her.
She turns.
Not challenge her physically.
Right.
Say,
like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, exactly. call her out.
Yeah. Can I help you? Are you lost?
She turns and says, maybe you can help me, little one. And she kind of steps forward a little bit. She says, are you one of those who were speaking to Lugana Castafiel earlier?
Okay, so my knuckles sort of whiten on the hilt of the spear, as she says, little one. And perhaps, what of it?
She's like, you should put that down.
I'll decide that.
She's like, I mean, really? She's like, my rapier's almost as long as you are. Like, I don't think you're going to have the upper hand here. She says, but I just want to speak to the people who were speaking to Lugana. That's all.
Well, let's just say maybe I was. And what sort of things would you discuss?
I'm just curious what she wanted with you, that's all. I just intend to make it my business.
Interesting.
Was she talking to you? And like she says in a very loaded way, like, were you one of the people she intended to meet?
Perhaps.
Right. Well,
why don't you ask me your questions and I'll.
What did she want?
We'll go from there.
What did she want you to do?
She wanted some help with some business.
All right. Did she mention?
I'm kind of making slightly more noise to try and alert the others that.
I think you can and will. Everyone else can be alerted to this. She says, "Did she mention anyone by name? A woman, perhaps?"
It's hard to recall all the information. It seems so long ago now.
And in fact, she didn't relay anything to you. Conlon.
Conley?
Conley.
Yeah.
Conley of Clacton. Remind us what she wanted you to do with Sarah when she whispered to you.
She wanted her gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Not
just killed, gone, but like erased, right?
Erased, gone. Okay. Well, I mean, this might be the opportunity, or you could let it play out a little bit more. But she's whoever. This is probably her. This is almost.
Yeah, I gathered. I'm gonna. I'm thinking. I'm picking up that there's like a charged conversation happening with Mange and someone else in the hole, but not quite picking up on the words.
Right.
So can I tell? No, fuck it. Let's just walk out. I'm gonna try like leaving my room as quietly as possible, like not have the door creak or anything. I might. You know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna for a quick second like hold my palms on the hinges to like soften them up a bit.
Okay.
Before I get the door open.
Okay.
Yeah, the door just goes smoldering.
Okay, so you're gonna
Yeah, I'm going to try like sneak out without being seen.
Got it.
Although I don't really know if she's like facing towards my door or not. I'm just.
I think she has her back to you right now. I think she's facing Mange. And she's got her sword out, like kind of tapping the end of Mange's spear, right? But as they're having a little détente here. But yeah, you can kind of creep out. I think. Go ahead. What do you do?
Is she armored?
No. Well, she's wearing like stylish leathers.
Cool. So Mange is seeing me, right? I'm guessing.
Yes, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just keep stringing her along, kind of being a bit annoying and keeping her attention on me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Jason, this is an opportune moment to ask you, like, have you got any cool thoughts about that dagger I made?
I'm open to hearing what you think.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's definitely got to be something to do with people who are like marked for death, right?
Ah, okay, good.
Um, I'm feeling this is probably not going to help me very much in the moment, but I like the idea of it having some sort of mechanical advantage against people who have cheated death,
Ah, okay, I'm into that.
who've got like a comeuppance coming to them.
Right, yeah.
Um, but I'm not. I haven't got like any good like mechanical stuff off the top of my
How,
head.
how about this? So, Sarah is probably the type of person who has cheated death, right?
Yeah, she's a swashbuckling heroine, right? So she.
I think like I think maybe if you use the dagger on someone who is owed, who owes death something, um, I'll give you a +1 forward on your action. Yeah.
All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my eyes on Mange, right?
Okay.
Um, to check for a response. But I'm going to be moving up to like as quickly and smoothly as possible. Just come up behind Sarah and slit her throat from behind.
Okay. Conley does what he is asked.
Have we established that that's even her?
Yeah, I should have done Discern Realities to know that that's what you were going to do. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm making eye contact. Like, this is what I'm doing. Like,
This would be a great
give me
chance.
some.
This would be a great
You know
chance
what I mean? Do is.
the interfere move, right? I mean, this is where the interfere move could come into play, right? Like if
I'm
you
gonna interfere from my room.
Yeah.
I think it's
Like to
between
do
me.
yourself for a change.
Yeah. What's all that blasted noise?
Let's say it's. I like the Mange Sarah Conley vibe here. So okay, so Mange, you're keeping.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna. This is what I'm thinking. Basically, we've got sort of spear to sword. We're kind of slightly agitated. I see this thing happening, and just as the dagger gets drawn, there's like Mange does like a really lightning quick move, which looks like she's attacking Sarah, but is actually like knocking
The blade out of
Sweet.
Conley's hand. Yeah.
roll interfere. Let's see how it goes. And it's because we do flags now. Interfere will just be whatever stat makes sense. So roll plus dex.
Okay.
Since we're not doing bonds.
Oh shit.
Go ahead and mark an
Quite
XP.
fun.
Mate.
Like in the middle of a fight.
That's a fail, right? Yeah. Go ahead and mark an XP. Conley, you have the floor. I don't even require a roll.
All right, cool. Yeah. I think. Yeah. You know what? I'm considering the failure on my roll. I don't think I read like. I think Mange fucks up so badly. I don't even read the intent. I don't see her trying to disarm me. I see us like doing a flanking move, right?
Yeah, so I'd probably make it really look like I'm actually trying to hit Sarah with the weapon at the same time. Or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're trying to make it look like you're trying to hit her. So I just go for the move. I bring the blade up to her throat, and as I move her across, I just sort of put my weight up against her, and then like lean her into the spear as well. Obviously trying to go at such an angle that I don't get like kebabbed.
Yeah. It's done. She falls down dead. Blood pooling in this hallway of the Svelte Elk. That's a great chance for the other two characters to show up on scene.
I'll walk out with like a bottle of spirits in one hand and say, "What's happening? Get her in here."
I'm moving.
Go ahead, dedicate her to Melchior, fast.
Wait, get her in here. I will help you get rid of the body.
Into the divine body disposal unit.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, you guys.
What are we, fucking murderers now?
Yeah, so I've got like I've got Sarah's legs like under my arms, trying to drag her into room, and I look at Mange and then back up at Fillion and go, she drew arms of a halfling. They were about to, she was about to strike.
Mange, is this true?
She's talking nonsense. She's a murdering bitch.
I am.
Keep your voices down, please, please. Maybe murder, maybe not. We talk. However, let's get rid of this body for now.
I draw my sword.
Fillion, you're wearing a little nightcap, by the way.
Yeah, I'm holding a chamber pot as well. I thought it was someone coming at the piss.
Nightgown candelabra.
Yeah. Okay, I draw a dagger and point it at Conley.
Mm.
I want to hear exactly what happened. What the hell is this?
All right,
Okay, inside.
yeah,
right.
all right.
Okay. Valentine will go inside.
we go inside, and I lock eyes with Fillion, and I'm going to ask you what fuels the flames of your desire.
To make amends for a great wrong. Do you need details?
No, it's just like a truthful answer, and I'm asking like Isa, right?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think that's sufficient. I'm not gonna feel cheated by that.
Okay.
You don't think I'd get any sense that it's got anything to do with the Casterfields, right?
You probably would get a strong sense. Certainly, if whenever the name Casterfield is mentioned, he visibly tenses, looks slightly abashed, perhaps.
Excellent, yeah. So once we're inside the room, I'm gonna waste no time in responding to Fillion. The lady Lugana placed a bounty on this woman. For what I don't know, I don't ask many questions. She asked a service of me, and I assure you that the reward is quite handsome. And I wouldn't mind parting with some of it.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Do you know that that's the woman that you were supposed to kill?
Well, I actually don't do. I should probably take that back, because I was, I pretty much assume, right? I'm thinking she's got this rapier. Actually, this is actually a pretty good point. Have I gotten a description of the woman? I feel like I maybe could have. Like, if I'm being sent to kill someone, they may be like, well, she's blonde.
She probably would have told you like that what she wears on her vestments, right? Like she's a Bravo, so like the order, the fighting order that she belongs to, right, has the image of a cockatrice on their vestments, on their their little shirt.
Mm. Right. Yeah. So to be perfectly clear, as Conley, I'm not 100% sure that this is the right woman, but she was wearing like the vestments, and it looked like it might come to blows anyway. So not really knowing like how much truth is in the matter. That's still why I say like, yeah, there's the Lugana Casterfield one, this woman gone, and I say I recognized her by the cockatiel. It's a brand.
And the lady Casterfield said to kill her. That was her instructions.
It was part of the instructions. No one can know she was her.
Oh. I didn't sign up to be a member of a party of murderers.
Except you're going to murder the Bone Cleric.
Yes,
Yeah. And you
I didn't sign up to
blowing your head
assassinate. I was signed on to assassinate very specific people.
Well,
for a certain amount of cash minimum.
He's got a cure for vampirism. That is probably worthwhile when it's all said and done. If that's going to vanquish more evil in the world, then to perhaps kill a lesser evil is a choice I'm perhaps willing to make.
This here, cooler
It
head.
is.
Yes.
No, no actually, the cleric hasn't gone to speak in a while.
Oh, we
He's
can.
just whittering to himself as usual.
Yeah, yes.
He's talking to Melchior.
Your Highness, if you just take a moment. He hands you a bottle of spirit, or the bottle of spirits, and says, "We can still ask this woman questions. You want to know who she is, where's she from? I can make that happen. Melchior can make that happen because he is very great."
So, have you told us at all about Melchior previously?
I don't know. How much have I told you guys about Melchior?
I mean, we probably know but he's like your god or whatever, right? But he's the great big divine thing that gives you your special powers.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but beyond that, I think it's up to like how much you're willing to divulge.
Yeah, he'll talk about Melchior if you guys want to ask him. So, you could have a baseline, or you could know a lot, depending on. Yeah. Why don't we just play it out?
All right, cool. So yeah, I look to the others, because I keep fucking it up. Yeah, Valentine, because I read Valentine's tone as if he's suggesting this as a solution to like my wrongdoing, which to me doesn't make sense. But I immediately back him up, right? With like, yes, I look back and forth. See the great. The purviews of the great Melchior are without bounds, and he can sort all this out.
Blessed be.
So I look at Fillion and say a word, and kind of point to the corner of the room.
If you two would not do anything for a moment, I'll go to Mange.
Okay.
Yes,
So in hushed tones, I say, what did we do in a past life to deserve the parties that we get in this company?
Yeah,
That's point number one.
Yeah, we need to vet the acceptance criteria for the company. To be honest with you.
Secondly, I see we have no choice but to go along with this at this stage. But don't expect me to die for these fools.
Yes, I think we should perhaps keep a close eye on these two and look after one another.
Valentine will make meaningful eye contact with Conway.
We're still like in the same room, right?
Yeah, I think we're all in Valentine's room.
Yeah. It's like a sitcom situation. Like we're on separate cameras, so we can't hear each other. Yeah. So I look back at Valentine and I go, so how? What's your game here exactly?
We have body we need to get rid of. I ask questions. Questions say what we want them to say.
I like this method.
Okay, before you start burning things to pieces, can we have a look to see if there's anything meaningful on her body? Is there a note? Not gold, guys. I'm not that crass. A note,
Magic item.
a message, something that will.
She got some great buckles on her boots.
Perfume, makeup.
A potion,
Yeah.
A potion of invisibility she failed to quaff before.
I think as soon as Fillion says this, like without him backing him up, you just go like, "Can we see if there's like anything on her?" I just go like, "Yes, finally some common sense." I mean, it all go to waste otherwise, won't it?
One thing, some coin, whatever. Like we'll say 10 coin. You guys can divide it up however you wish. Traveling money, pocket money. The thing that sticks out that she has is she's got a wooden stake on her belt.
I look very smugly at Fillion.
Okay, the connection
I'm sure she was planning to set up a tent
Say that again, Lee. What'd you say?
Yeah, I'm sure she was planning to set up a tent somewhere. That's all.
Trekking.
With one stake. She's going to do one corner of the tent.
Well, luck doesn't negate the stupidity, but hey.
Indeed. Were you going to try to contact the spirit, Valentine? Is that what you had in mind, or?
Valentine's waiting to see if he has to mediate this situation, and if he does, then he will.
I mean, it seems like she was probably going to try to kill Lugana. Philia knows that the Castifiel sisters are vampires, right? So,
I will stand down. I'll back off and.
I suppose the chief concern is who would know that she's been here and would notice her missing, right? And gets dragged into some manhunt situation while we're trying to do our job.
A wiser man than I said, if there is no body, there is no murder.
Yeah, so the murder's one thing, but the halfling's and entirely correct. The job, as I might as well bring you all in on at this point, by which I mean financially as well as informationally, was to clear all traces of this vampire hunter. So that her allies may not follow in her steps. Although hopefully this won't be a problem for long. I just sort of nod at Aphelion, like our quest curing vampirism. But from what I heard tell,
this could have been averted, is what I'm trying to say.
From what I heard tell, she was quite a brash woman. If she spoke to anyone on her way in, I'd wager there were quite few.
We could have asked her to join us on our quest. That would have been one extra body, one extra bravo that could have helped us get rid of this bloody bone collector. Now there's a corpse that we've got to get rid of.
Should I try to wake her up? Maybe she can help us anyway.
Perhaps. I don't know.
She's not going to be very pleased.
About your sketchy weirdness, but anything you can do to help Valentine.
So this dagger, is there like blood splatter everywhere, or is it quite a clean like flame type dagger? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's like a massive pool of blood and then a trail leading to the room that we're in. Right. Yeah, as long as there's no trail back to us.
Okay, let's wrap this scene up. So you've got the body. You can wipe up the blood, do whatever you need to do. It's late at night, so there's not like people are wandering around, right? In the halls, except for poor Sarah. She was probably trying to hunt a vampire, probably Lugana. It's a little unclear, but it's a pretty easy jump to make. She may have more relevant information if Valentine is able to communicate with her. But I think whenever you do these things, you always kind of open yourself up to other things. So just keep that in mind. If you think there's something enough you can learn, then go for it. But you guys have plenty to work with as it is. So,
So we get rid of the body, no?
Yes. You do go on with your. Is Melchior some sort of lord of either the underworld, the dead, or something? I haven't heard the name. Being a man of the cloth myself, I'd assume.
Praise be
I'd
to
assume it wouldn't
Melchior.
come up.
He's the lord of that which lies beneath the skin of the world.
Wow.
May he tear it away and allow us to see the true and terrifying nature of the world in all of its horrifying glory.
Yeah. He's certainly spreading the word, isn't he?
They'll take anybody in the company. There are no standards.
See,
Team Omega, right?
I think
I
maybe
just
he
looked at the
says-
character sheets.
He'll say that quietly to Conley.
Yeah, this is our sitcom camera, right?
Yeah.
You also look over in like the open kitchen area. Um,
I think that Valentine believes that Conley is sort of on the same page.
oh yeah. Totally. I don't think Conley gives like the impression of being of being like an immediate convert to Malkiel's cause. But he like nods with a degree of like acknowledgement. Like, all right, cool. That doesn't sound like a bad thing to me.
All right, so you're gonna burn the body, Conley,
Yeah, but obviously not. You know,
in the Svelte Elk.
in the Spell Elk, because then I'm going to be burning the Spell Elk,
Right.
which I personally have got a problem with. But this group is a lot more like a lot more.
Flammable than you are.
Yeah. I looked at the character sheets before this game, and I saw like chaotic, like destroy an icon of civilization, chaotic, neutral. I was like, yeah, it was going to be a good group, but I don't know. We murder one innocent protagonist, and everyone's up in arms. But no, are we lucky enough that
I'm
there's
worried
like
about the person. I'm worried about being killed.
Sorry?
I said I'm not worried about the person. I'm worried about being caught and killed to stop me from destroying civilization.
Oh yeah, no, which is
One step at a
my
time.
fault exactly. That's we're all on the same page. But on that page, are we lucky enough that there's like a back alley out the window, or does that lead like directly onto the main streets where people might notice a body flying from the sky?
No, you go for it. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So just toss her out there, and I'll probably. Yeah. I'm not going to climb down. I'm an old feeble man. I'm just going to walk out and come around back into the alley.
We have that chest. There's a chest.
We have a chest.
There's a chest.
No, it's small. It's kind of small, just for.
Yeah, it's a chest of gold coins. But yes,
3,000 coins. It must be like this big, right?
It's like bread box size.
We are not cutting her up.
No. I think for the remains it will do very nicely. Well for Valentine. And I'm gonna spend some time in the alley, not making like a flaming inferno, but like cautiously cautiously cremating the body of this woman, like over the course of maybe like an hour or so. I think the light it gives off, it's just like some homeless guy making a campfire in the streets.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. I don't need any rolls or anything. That's good enough description. Next day, the Deep Tankard. Why don't we pick up there, or at least on the way to the Deep Tankard? So, what's the plan once you get to the Deep Tankard? What do you know? You know that there's a secret entrance to the Black Nest from the Deep Tankard, allegedly. I'll remind you, Mange, you have your hold for your discern reality, your rat DR earlier, so just don't forget that.
Yeah.
And but what time of the day would you guys go?
Morning.
Okay. Yeah. Nobody. It won't be. It might be open, but just for like people to go in and get some. They might do kind of like a early meal, a little bit, or maybe
just like a few sad sacks there drinking hard liquor.
Yeah, they're like drinking. They get an early start. You get a few early starters. The Deep Tankard is. It's so named because the tankards are deep with ale. I think it was interesting that the street urchin put a more poetic spin on deep in his mind to be black or dark, but in fact it just means a deep tankard. And the sign indicates as much. The tankard is bigger. There's an image of a tankard that's massive, right? With like a person like inside of it, right? But it's shit. I mean, it's just a shit pub. There's not much going on. Like it's like 2 rooms. There's like little back area, a bar, and then just a place with a few tables. You know.
I'm gonna.
What should I be on the lookout for?
Indeed, indeed. If there is a secret entrance to a subterranean part of the city called the Black Nest, it's probably going to be somewhere off the main trafficked areas in the pub. So there's a hallway adjoining the main area. If to the extent there's a secret entrance, it's probably back there.
Is there like a central space somewhere?
Yeah, there's like a main area with like say 6 tables where there are a couple of people drinking.
So yeah, Valentine will come back and try to find the center table, and he'll come back with tankards of dark ale for all, not great big ones, but little ones, and sit them down, and then sort of mutter under his breath at the table while he sips. And I want to cast a guidance, and that's the symbol of your. It's just a rote. The symbol of your deity appears before you, and gestures towards the direction of your course of action. That your deity would have you take.
Okay.
Reasonable?
No, it seems great. All right. Go ahead and give me the roll.
Oh, that's wrong. That is not the way that works. Sorry. 1, 2. Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm learning Dice Stream. Okay, that is a 10.
Okay, cool. So is this something that appears does it manifest physically, or is it just something you see, or what?
So here's the thing. It says the message is through gesture only. Your communication through the spell is severely limited. It's a symbol of your deity, and the symbol of my deity is a maggot. So I was kind of hoping that there might just be a scummy bar, a maggot on the table that crawls in one direction.
In fact, the barkeep walks up to the table while you're all there having your ale, and this is maybe you've gone through you've had a pint. That's a measurement, right, of ale, and he comes up and he's like, you hear him coming up from behind. He's like, can I get you another round? You boys like to start early, and little lady.
Little lady.
Well, it's completely untouched.
You'll notice as he approaches, his face is covered in maggots and flies. They're just crawling all over his head. And he doesn't even seem to notice. He just as he's talking, bugs and maggots and shit are crawling into his mouth as he's like, "Can I get you another?"
Excellent.
Yeah.
Melchior even gives you a little whisper. I think one of the little maggots on his face is like, "This one has offended Melchior," right?
Actually, I should ask: is it just Valentine seeing this? Because I caught it as the whole group.
I think you all will. Yeah, I think it's apparent.
Yeah.
No more ale for me, thank you.
So it's a real thing, not a vision thing. So it's a real.
It's an illusion, I guess. It's not actual maggots crawling.
Right.
You see it as that.
Right. I'm just wondering if there's another design relative.
He'll just go lean over to who's next to him, to Mange, and say he knows where.
Okay. So we know roughly where it is, and we need him to somehow go there or show us exactly how to get there. How many people are in the bar?
It's 2 old men in their cups a little early, and you guys.
I'm just trying to decide whether we go for some sort of intimidation or stealth.
To be clear, Melchior doesn't give a shit about the entrance to the Black Nest. Melchior, this barkeep has offended Melchior.
Oh, okay.
This is where he wants your attention presently.
Okay, that's reasonable. That's unfortunate, but reasonable. Okay, I'll just stand up. Say, gentlemen, one moment, please. And and say, "Barkeep, come here with me. I have a question to
Right.
ask." And he'll like he'll show some coin, but not give it to him.
Okay.
Okay, and he'll sort of like walk him over to the corner like he's got
Yes.
some secret information to ask. And then
Okay.
he'll grab onto his hand while they're sort of like speaking in a low voice, and just try to break a couple of his fingers.
Okay. It's I don't need a roll. It's done. What is everyone else doing when you see Valentine like doing the hard sell here to the innkeep?
I get up. I walk over to like these couple of old men hanging out. Are they like at the same table?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I actually, first of all, I like haven't touched my drink at all. When this happens, I pick up like the whole tankard and I like down the pint in like 10, 15 seconds, and just like slam it on the table. And you probably see me do this. Like this is how I drink and eat. Right, it just goes down in one go. I go over to the two men. I toss a couple of coin on the table. I go, "It's time for you to leave."
They grab the coin and they're like, "We can drink anywhere," and they wander off with their coin. Once the room is cleared out and you've injured the innkeep and he's there, he's like screaming. You've like kind of injured his fingers or his hand or whatever, and he's like just flailing around. He's like, "What the hell are you? What's the meaning of all this?" There's this little chaotic situation there.
Be very quiet. It's important you stay quiet. Where's the door?
He's like, what door? What are you talking about?
Really? Valentine will step out of the way and allow for the ministrations or questioning of the other group.
I'll take a parlay. You have leverage over him right now.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that.
Billion, do you want to do the parlay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Good call.
Yeah, so this is where I take over. My friend over here, Ballantyne, is a pretty unhinged man, and
he's like, "Do you think?"
Yeah, I mean, your fingers are just the start.
Right.
Things will get progressively worse for you, believe me. If you would have been with us last night, I don't really want to go into it right now, but the outlook is not great.
Please, in the treasure chest right now, right?
Please, I implore you, sir, tell us where the entrance is to the place we want to go. I know you know. I suggest you say it now, or my friends here will probably do awful things to you and your family.
Roll charisma. What'd you
get? 7.
Okay. He'll do it. He says, if I tell you where it is, just promise you'll leave this place. Just leave me alone. Never come back.
We're not interested in you. We just want to get into the nest.
He's like, indeed. And he crawls to like a to the back corner where you anticipated Mange. And there's a little side room with like a little table and some other little things. And there's a big, heavy, thick rug on the ground. And he'll say, under there, and if you flip it up, there's a trapdoor in the floor. So.
See, gentlemen, this is how you do it.
Teamwork.
Well, yeah. but only a few broken bones. You taking note there? Conley.
Officially done.
Right.
Right, let's go down.
The trapdoor opens up to a set of wooden stairs that go down to a sort of a basement type area, and then in that basement area you see a little passage with some stairs like kind of carved into, or they almost look like sewer, like it's like sewer stone, like stones going down. It's like roughly hewn, stone steps. Those go down a little ways into kind of a sort of a. So the Black Nest is a place where if you need to get things into Kanalata or out of Kanalata, this is a great place to do it. It has an underground waterway that connects up with a larger body of water. There is a little pier, and there are also a few little like huts and houses down there where some local merchants ply their wares. But mostly it's pretty quiet. There aren't many people around. Um, I'm gonna go around the table and I want to ask each of you as you kind of the stairs go down into just like essentially what's kind of an opening in a cave wall and steps out into the Black Nest, right? What do you see as you're roaming around this very, very tiny neighborhood and little dock? What do you see that reinforces that this is a really bad place? I'm just going to go around the table and ask. First one, what does your character observe?
Bloodstained manacles are strewn around all over the place. Perhaps some kind of slave trade or something going on as well, which is pretty grim.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh.
Grimness.
Yeah, maybe we get lunged at by somebody who's kind of horribly mutilated in some form as kind of a beggar, but really badly, like missing a hand and an eye and stuff.
Nice. Conley?
Shit, man. I don't know. I think probably some sort of smoked out fantasy arcane junk addicts. I'm imagining, yeah. Is you only see this in places like the Black Nest, but you see it in places like across the world. These are people who would just sort of sitting slumped around, maybe high, maybe just strung out.
Nice.
And the trademark thing is their faces seem sunken, almost like concave is the one that goes inward, right? And the worst of them seem to have like almost like surreally sunken in holes deeply into their skulls.
Nice. What about you, Valentine?
There's a food vendor that is off to the side that is selling like whole skinless barbecued cats and rats, sort of flayed like in like Chinatown display windows hung up.
Fun place. I would never eat at the Black Nest personally. Good.
Street food. It's up and coming.
Let's take like a 3 or 4 minute break, okay? And then we'll come back.
Cool.
Hold up, guys. Give me just like a couple minutes.
Cool.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's an extremely indecisive cat.
All right. Mage, the rats down here are plentiful and talkative.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I kind of kneel down and try not to get my knee in any kind of shit on the floor.
Right.
And kind of summon them to me.
Indeed.
Run up and kind of tell me of the Bone Cleric.
They don't know this one called the Bone Cleric, but they've heard his name muttered, though they've never seen him themselves. I think you're muted, Ed. Oh, you're on mute.
I'll try and unmute.
Yeah, you're muted.
He's a meat boy.
It was just me thinking out loud, so you didn't miss anything. What should I be on the lookout for? Or have I used that one? Can I read it?
No, you could repeat them. It's fine. Well, so you know that you're looking for this woman who sells cadavers, right? I think I'll take you straight to it if you ask that question. And in fact, the rats will, once you kind of give them a hint of what you're looking for, the rats will lead you the way.
Yeah.
This is a pretty small neighborhood, just a couple of like little parallel streets with just hovels and dilapidated buildings, you know. The place is lit with blue light. That's a curious feature of the Black Nest. Someone a long time ago managed to learn how to light the braziers with blue light, and so everything has kind of like a strange blue glow to it, right?
Cool.
But the rats take you to the place, and just in case you need further confirmation it's the right place, there are completely shaven dead bodies hanging by ropes on the outside of the building, as a like Chinese duck, right? Except just bodies hung by ropes outside the door.
Awesome.
So, what do you guys do?
Oh, we all get there. I think maybe the rats were leading like mange on the DL.
Yeah, you can all do that. It's fine. Yeah.
All right, cool.
There aren't many places to go. So.
No. I think as we move, then I just sort of like reach out my hand to like a torch or something to tease one of these blue flames, just like play with it a bit. When we arrive, I don't look at any other group. I just look at the hanging corpses and I muse like, what does anyone buy corpses for?
Well, there's a number of reasons you might need to. Maybe, perhaps someone has some need for a corpse.
Well, yeah, yes.
I
I assume it's to meet a demand, and I'm wondering about the origin of the demand itself.
Medical experiments, anatomy classes, dark rituals,
Magic
zombies,
users.
perhaps?
And then you hear a voice coming from inside the doorway. And it's a woman's voice, and you hear, she steps out into the blue light as well. She says, "I'll tell you what they use them for. They use them for unwholesome purposes, right? Is that what you want with one of Mog's hogs?" And she slaps the ass of one of the ones hanging there.
That's mundane. This is very mundane use for these. But I suppose it could get double use.
What did you say that again, Valentine?
He says, it is a very mundane use for these corpses. But they could be a dual use.
She's like, and then she like, and I think she like grabs one of them's like private parts, and she's like, "Are you?" and waggles it, and she's like, "Are you just looking, or are you buying? What? Are you just wasting my time?"
We're buying
She's like, "Oh, good. Come in,
information.
and information. Oh, well, I could help with that too, I suppose." She's very, very filthy. Just nasty, stringy, greasy hair. Classic, wretched hag, right? Filthy, filthy burlap dress, and she's got she wears bracelets that look like they're made of like teeth.
Nice.
And she welcomes you inside. The place reeks of chemical. It has a very, very strong chemical smell, and she has a couple of lanterns, set on tables too, where she does her work. She presently has a body laying on a slab that's looks a little bloated. She's like, "Just fished this one out of the canal the other day. She got a good price. She got a good price for the waterlogged ones." She's like, "It's no trouble pumping them out." And she's got some pipes, and she sticks them in there, and she like puts her mouth on the pipe and like to like get the water to start going.
Awesome.
Out of interest, how much do one of these corpses go for?
Oh, well, it just depends. It just depends. This fella here, once I get done with him, sew him up and pump him full of chemicals, I could get, 30, 40 coin for him.
I look up at who do you Fillion, maybe. I just sort of half wistfully go like, we could have made a pretty penny.
He's like, "But if you get a pretty one, a real pretty one, you know what I mean." And she looks at you, Philly, "You know what I mean, a pretty one, right? Pretty one."
I step back slightly.
You get a pretty one, you could get as much as 50 or 60 coin.
I hang and shake my head.
Especially if it's still got the hair on it.
Okay, so down to business, I guess.
She's like, "Right, indeed." She's like, "So what do you want?"
We want some information about a collector.
A collector of bodies, perhaps?
A collector of bones.
Collector of bones. Right.
And a worshipper of some god.
Worshipper of a god. Someone in the city who worships a god. Yes, I've got the person just in mind.
So you want to tell us where this bone cleric might be found?
Bone cleric? You didn't say that. Bone cleric. Bone cleric. She's kind of mumbling to herself. She's like, "More like bone wizard is what it is. Bone wizard. He's been around for a long, long time. Bone lich by this point." She's scrambling around, messing with devices and things. And at a certain point, she like takes a big like serrated knife and just jams it into the arm of this body she's dealing with.
Bone lich. That's bad.
A bone.
That's really bad.
I'm sure she's just referring to the man's age.
She's
and I look to her for like confirmation.
It was a colloquialism.
Yeah.
Sorry, what the hell's a lich?
A lich? Doesn't know what a lich is. I suppose you're not from the Black Nest, are you? Lich is a wizard that doesn't want to leave this mortal coil, and so he does anything he can to stay. unwholesome things. You know what I mean?
So they're dead. They're undead.
Yes, they're undead. She's sawing now. She's sawing at a leg. Just hear a until she gets.
Undead typically have a weakness of some description, right? Does a bone lich have a weakness?
She's like, why are you asking me all these questions? I don't even know. She's like, what do you want to know? Come on.
I just shake my head and I go, again, she's just talking about an old man.
Here's 40 coins. That would pay for one of these corpses, right?
She's like, oh, which one do you want?
No. I'm just saying this word.
He wants a pretty one.
So you're safe, Valentine.
Give me a parlay. That's good leverage.
7. Christ.
40 coin, huh? All right. You're asking me something that could get me into a bit of trouble, she says. 40 coin and some sort of reassurance that word won't get back that I told you what I know.
Oh, I can assure you we're very discreet. I look over to Valentine and sorry, it's Conroy, isn't it?
Conley, yeah.
Conley.
She's like, but I need assurances. And then she scuttles over and she looks at the hilt of your sword. She says, that's pretty, isn't it? Those feathers like that red and white feather.
Some may find them pretty. They're adornment to my blade, yeah.
Is it important to you? Does it have some sort of symbolic value?
Well, it's important in that I use this to protect myself, but...
No, the feathers. I don't care about the sword. He gets swords anyway. He's like, the feathers. Give me the feathers. And when you're done with doing what you're doing, come back and collect them. And so long as no one's come knocking on my door asking why I've shared with you what I know, you're free to have them back.
You understand what's happening here, right?
What sorts of feathers are these? What do they look like?
They're I mean, just they are simple feathers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're just attached to the pommel of my rapier. Will unscrew where it joins the rapier, so the feathers are attached to a silver chain that's then attached to the pommel of the rapier, and I will pass over the feathers to the old hag.
She takes the chain and she moves back her greasy hair, and then she hangs the feathers on her ear, and then drops the hair back and says, "There's a lake, great big lake outside the city, Lake Belgoro, and there's a peninsula thrusting out into the lake, and on this peninsula there's a cathedral, abandoned cathedral, long abandoned from a long forgotten god. That's where you'll find the bone cleric."
Okay. Let's go.
I'll be coming back for those feathers.
Well, I hope you do.
I poke her in the thigh with a spear and say, "Don't cross the old woman, or we'll be back, and not just for the feathers."
She's like, right. Just calm down, little one. It'll be all right. She slinks over.
Die.
And then she just digs her hand into the cavity of this body. You just hear like a squish, 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 and she like runs around in there. I've got work to do.
Oh,
Send you on your way.
I hate you.
As we
Jason.
leave, sorry, did I had a bit of lag. Did I interrupt someone? All right, cool. Now, as we leave, I'm going to say to Valentine, like conversationally, this maggot god of yours makes sense. He's he's a connoisseur of things like this. No, I don't like gesture of all the hanging decay. Corpses, he feasts on them, that sort of thing.
He'll shrug. The maggot is a symbol. He's a godling, a little god. He is more interested in the mysteries of the world. Yes? So maybe a corpse could be interesting to him, but only as much as it can be a symbol to break down a mind and allow it to see beyond the veil. That can be very important.
A symbol,
But the corpse,
yes. A symbol, but symbols are important though. And
gods.
Corpses, maggots, they're very much in the same bag, if you like. I turn 180 degrees to like regard the house of flesh from a distance. You know, in that sense, would make a fine shrine, would it not?
Perhaps. Let me ask. He'll stop for a moment and consult Melchior. You like House of Corpses?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, you can have the answer. Whatever answer you think the answer is fine.
I think that he's more interested in the Bone Cleric at the moment.
Mage, is there anything else you want to do down here in the Black Nest? You have the benefit of your ratty knowledge. Is there anything else that you want to follow up on?
Yeah. Well, first I'm going to impart some wisdom on Filian about the values of not getting too attached to inanimate objects, first and foremost, because it leaves you incredibly vulnerable in negotiations. That's my first point.
So I'll get a bollocking.
I want to know... You get bollocking, yeah. In a nice way. Like, as nice as mage can be in these situations.
Thanks, mate.
I wonder whether it might be worth asking who's really in control here to see if we can find out. Yeah. Yeah.
The rats don't have a good perception of like who's really in control. There may not even be a great answer. But what the rats do know is that lots and lots of people visit this one particular building. There's a sign, it must be a business, that says Vondril the Alchemist. Many people, even people from topside, even finer looking people than you would normally find in the Black Nest. Many people come through and visit her. So to the rats, they think she must be important.
Maybe we need to get tooled up a little bit with the cash that we've got.
Possibility.
Yeah, I'm a bit flush at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
You need more inanimate objects to get attached to, I suppose, Filian.
Yes.
This building has the inside has a chemical smell as well, but of a slightly different sort. It's chemical, but like with also like the smell of like ash and incense, and a burning smell, which must be some comfort to you both, Mage and Conley, right? And Vondril is there sitting behind her counter. She is she seems like a very serious woman. Kind of difficult to determine her age, but you would take a stab and think like maybe like mid to late 30s. But then there are sometimes things that you see on her countenance that make you think she's much older. Hands that look a little more wrinkled than her face is, that sort of thing, right? Long blonde hair, simple white dress, and she has potions for sale. A few things to point out. She's got just a basic sort of assortment of potions that I will just make available to you guys if you want to spend the money to buy them. But in addition to that, you'll notice a couple of things on her little shelf behind her. One of those things, Conley, really speaks to you because it's a bottle that appears to be like that has a liquid in it that like is changing from like liquid to flame and then back, right? Constant like movement of liquid and flame. And then there's another bottle that's sparking with electricity as well. So just those stick out, like you see them, you can't help but notice them. In addition to some more mundane things, I'm going to paste in just a list of things that are available. The other two things, if you want to ask about the special ones, you just have to ask her. But here's what's available. Prices are a little high, but you're paying for assortment, and so all of them do what they sound like they do.
Where did you post this? There.
The chat. And I'm gonna step away for a
cool.
second. I'll be back in just like 1 sec. You guys can look over that. I'll be back in a minute.
Cool. Oh, 100 for healing potion.
Oof. I think is that twice the regular price? Let me have a look. I just happen to have the equipment list open.
Does anyone have
like,
any healing potions?
I've got 2.
No.
I am totally light on anything that's useful. I've got
Yeah, but you're weighed down with these trinkets. That like, did you not? Did you just like skip the fence bit in Thief School? You just steal shit and then you keep it.
But they have sentimental value.
Try stealing things you're not attached to, and then visit the attached things.
Yeah, I've got some purple
Sentiment
boots.
will get you killed.
Mm-hmm.
My purple boots look stupid anyway.
I can do some healing, but only so long as the spell holds out.
Yeah, I mean, I can heal as well if you're prepared to listen to interesting and calming songs about lava flows and geysers and such.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
We actually happen to have
kind
to
of discordant Tibetan kind of chanting style.
Does anyone know how to kill a lich?
in or out of character.
In character.
Yeah, because probably not.
Should we spout some lore about it?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Maybe put our heads
think we need
together
to.
and figure it out. Whoever's the smartest.
I feel this is a very a very typical D&D type thing where I think she just called him a lich. I think that's just like a thing she said because he's old.
I don't know, man. A vampire looking for a cure to her vampirism or her curse.
Yeah, a bone cleric. It's and some sort of tower on a peninsula in an underground lake, right?
I mean, obviously,
to me.
I think he's a necromancer of some sort. You know, that seems very likely.
She said he was a wizard that refused to die.
She said he's a wizard who's very old. That's just a standard wizard. They're born old.
Well, should we prepare for the worst?
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna probably do a spout law. I don't know if obviously we could all roll it, but I don't know if I like know that sort of shit.
Well, maybe we could do something where we basically sit around just talking about what we know about liches. So, like, you can spout lore, but we can kind of aid you with our own little bits of information, kind of thing, that kind of pieces together as a group, kind of thing.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Bards don't seem so useless now, do they? They can spout lore or anything.
Yeah, we'll just bring one in just for the moment and then turn them back.
And throw them in the canal.
Okay, so for each of these potions, there's just one available for each of them.
Okay.
If you wish to purchase it, just erase the coin, say you are, and put it in your gear.
Yeah, right. So I don't actually know what Epiphany Potion means. Like, does what it says on the tin, but the tin just says Epiphany.
You drink and you have an epiphany.
All right, fair enough. That's very.
So, like, then you drink it and you're ready to write a sonata, or is it necessarily going to be appropriate?
It has a specific mechanical function. Basically, if you drink it, you get to ask one free question from DR.
Cool.
All right, fair enough. Do you get the +1 forwards? Is always the follow-up question to that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to ask about the flask of fire. Like identical to a very cool sort of wine. I'm gonna point at it and go, what's this bottled flame you've got?
She's like, she says, "Speak gently, friend, for this is no trick. This is no mummer's fire in a bottle." She pulls it out and sets it down on the table. She says, "This is just a little bit of the first flame, the very first flame. It is the essence of ignis, primeval fire. And I've managed to get just a bit."
God damn, there's no, like, if I remember correctly, there's no, like, is this person lying on discern realities, is there?
No. She's telling the truth, though. I'm not going to...
Yeah. Could I recognize it, perhaps? Can I tell that that's what it is?
I mean, you know what ignis is. Ignis is the... It is one name for the primordial fire, right? The first fire, the fire from which all other fires were born at the beginning of all things. And the essence is it's a liquid, but it's an incredibly flammable liquid that has lots of potential uses. Right?
Excellent. We should buy her out. If we pull our 700 coin together, no, 3,000. We got 750 each. No,
we're gonna put Fiona into that mix.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah. Well, Fiona can get paid on the back end.
Cool. Okay, so 750 each.
So yeah, primordial fire. I disregard her. And fuck it, I can do this anytime I want. Without mechanical repercussions. Although obviously there's going to be some narrative repercussions at some point. What fuels the flames of her desire?
Cold hard cash. That's
cold hard cash. Well, that's what I was going with.
Her motivation.
Yeah. How much?
Also, it's a little bit better than that. A little bit more than that. She intends to eventually build up her business so that she can do in her more respectable rivals topside.
Interesting. Bulk rates. Just how much for all the potions?
She'll give you a 10% discount on the whole thing if you buy them all. She's like, but you probably don't have enough coin to afford this one, friend, holding up the essence of Ignis.
No.
Well, how much is that?
Don't tell me how much coin I've got.
I couldn't possibly part with it for less than 1,000. I mean, it's the essence of a god.
$1,000, is it? Tell me, what's an enterprising businesswoman like you're doing in a place like this?
You're not very good at this, are you?
She says,
I feel a woman with part of a primordial force in a bottle should be someplace better than I just sort of
She says,
waft.
I'm where I want to be, and I'll get where I'm going in due time.
Hmm.
Are you
You tell
suggesting...
you tell me what you need to get there.
You're speaking words of somebody who wants to barter rather than purchase. What did you have in mind?
Tell me what you need.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes. Oh, what I need. Oh, tell me
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'll tell you what you need. She says,
Who stands in your way?
she's like, well, if you're buying up potions, it means you're going somewhere very important, somewhere presumably dangerous, she says as she arranges the bottles on the table. What sort of danger do you expect to get into?
What I'm asking her what she needs.
She
Like,
wants to find out what you can give her.
oh yeah. Death.
Death. That's pretty good. Do you mean to put a dagger to my throat, or do you mean something more elemental?
I mean, that's the sort of element we're going to be dealing with. Death, bones, flesh, maggots, miasma, skulls and crossbones.
That sounds like a good time. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a significant discount on this bottle of the essence of Ignis if you can bring me... And then she says, this is what I'm looking for. And then she gives you a description of and she draws it out. She says, this is a flower that only grows around dying places. Are you going to such a place? A dead and dying place?
I think that's a fair assumption.
Yes. You're muted, Lee. I can't hear
Oh yeah. I immediately look around pointedly, like, are we not in a dead and dying place?
you. She says, if you can bring me back some of these flowers, on the promise that you'll bring them back, I'll let you have this for 500 coin.
A fair deal. Gentlemen, I'm assuming I'll be buying it when I bring her the flower, not immediately.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Are there any other special potions here?
The only other thing she's got is that one that's got the electricity bouncing around inside of it.
So what does that one do?
She's like, this one's not a potion at all. She sets it down. Point it at your enemies, pull off the stopper, and hold on tight.
Oh, it's a cannon. It's a cannon in a bottle.
She says, it is in fact chain lightning in a bottle, but close enough.
It could be very useful.
How does that work on the undead?
She's like, blast them to bits.
Ooh, we'll take that.
Unless it blasts you to bits.
She's like, 1,500? Sound like a good price to you?
I don't know. Gentlemen, you kind of handle the money piece.
With a 10% discount for the whole lot. She pushes everything forward.
Yeah, why not?
I'm only interested in the fire. Otherwise, my sword.
Well,
So
we'll handle it at the table here. It would be 400, 550, 650, 725, plus 1,500, 2,225 minus 10%. We'll say 2,000 total. Loaded.
What is that? 500 each.
Loaded for bear against the Bone Cleric.
I would prefer to go in with as much ammunition as possible.
Done. Let's do it.
Indeed. The session is wrapping. I want to fast forward through time a little bit. You guys can divide that stuff up however you wish, but just erase the coin. I'd like to get
My tiny hand reaches out and gets the invisibility potion off the counter between the gap.
I think I'd like to end the scene with you all essentially on the approach to this Lake Belgoro, where there's a peninsula with an abandoned cathedral. Okay, and just outside the city. I'm going to throw up an image, but as we're approaching, I'd like to just get a sense of if you guys don't mind spending just a few extra minutes. Just as you're approaching, like this is basically your last chance to hit flags. So if you want to have a conversation like on the way with anybody, just to make sure you can hit a flag before the end, this is the time to do it.
Well, I'm seeing an easy one, and I've even got a good reason for it. I think the way I'm going to phrase it. Where are you all? There you are, guys. As we come up, I'm gonna like a fill-in, and I'm gonna go like in a very appraising sort of way. Like, how important are these feathers to you, really? Have you got some sort of magical property you manage to keep quiet?
Magic? No, not at all. I don't really possess anything magical. I don't particularly care for it myself. But as you know, I'm rather sentimental. The Lady Chesterfield, not the one we spoke about, or spoke to rather, a few days ago, but her sister. We would spend some time corresponding, not long, because I hadn't known her for that long, but these feathers were actually part of the quill that she used to write letters to me. And it's a keepsake, and it's a reminder of happier times. So that's why they're important to me.
Yes.
The halfling's right, you know. These things pile up when you let them. They weigh you down. I've seen the way you fight. I think you know exactly how well you'll do once you carry enough weight and under the right circumstances.
I'd like to think that these things give me purpose. So I think we can agree to disagree in that instance.
Good. Does anybody else have anything else they want to do before we end the session?
No, I'm good. I need to spend a bit more time working out the flags on my own as well. So.
Yeah, it's okay. It sometimes takes a session to kind of sort them out and kind of get them how you want them to be. Okay, cool. Well, as you approach, this is what you see. If you look in the Roll20, there's your abandoned cathedral. It's about that time of day. You've left instructions at the Svelte Elk so that Fiona could come find you, and that's it. It looks super inviting. So
Nice.
End of session. Let's get your little last of your XP wrapped up, and we'll call it a sesh. Okay, so if you hit a flag, go ahead. If you hit a flag, just call it out, and if that person agrees that you hit the flag, you get the XP. There's just 1 XP at stake for this.
Yeah, but you can get like 1 XP total, no matter how many characters or flags you got, right?
Yep.
Cool. So I think at least I asked Felian about the feathers, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a low-hanging fruit, but I feel like we got something good out of it.
Yeah, mark an XP. Anybody else want to make a case for a flag to the owner of the flag?
Hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
I refer to Fillion as His Highness.
His Highness, yeah.
While we were dealing with the body, I don't know if that is
I heard it. I heard
Wait,
you say it.
All right, I'm going to say, was that in polite
Nice
society?
society.
I don't know. Do we count handling a body? Maybe not.
I kind of like it in spirit just because it was fun, but it's up to Isa. So.
I mean, that's not the purpose of it, but I quite liked the way you used it in RP. I thought it sort of brought us together. So yeah, why not? If no one else disapproves, I think it's worthwhile.
It's your decision.
Cool.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Great.
Any more flags? I know some people asked about Melchior. I don't know who that was though.
Conley definitely did.
Conley did, but Conley's already got his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Fillion revealed a weakness to me for me to address.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the weakness and sort of mange was a catalyst for that. Was about the things that you own end up sort of owning you or perhaps weigh you down. So you've given me an option to address it. Whether I take it or not, I don't know. But
oh no! It's like it's for me to address. It's like show me that you're weak so that I can tell you you're weak, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, cool. Shall we move on? Okay, let's look at the alignment statements. I'll just read them myself if they're written there. Valentine, endanger yourself. Yes. Oh, yeah, I think so. For no other reason than you just did like a lot of like gross shit out in public, so I'll take it. Neutral, defeat a worthy. Oh, that's Fiona. We don't need her. Conley, sacrifice an unwilling victim to the flames. Yes. Mark an XP.
Cool.
Mange Dirt Eater, destroy a symbol of civilization. Do you care to make your case, Edwin, for what that might have been?
It's a hard one.
It's a hard one. Yeah, it requires a very specific.
I'm just going to start smashing stuff up all the time. I'm just going to start smashing windows randomly.
Just break things.
Yeah.
We'll sit on that for a minute. Chaotic, leap into danger without a plan. I'm not sure that really. What do you think about that? Sure.
No, I don't think I have yet.
Yeah, no, not quite. You're going to have plenty of.
I should have had. Yeah, I should have taken that for this one. But
did we learn something new and important about the world? Yes, I think a number of things. Go ahead and mark an XP. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? Notable monster or enemy? I don't
think so.
Not unless Sarah counts.
Yeah, I mean, would Sarah have been a proper fight if we'd done it like the honorable way?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give you guys the benefit of Sarah because of that scene. It was an interesting scene, so in the spirit of that, you can all take the XP for that question.
Okay.
Nice.
Did we loot a memorable treasure? Yes, I think you guys grabbed the masks at least, and maybe a couple other things, but definitely the masks. So mark an XP there. And we're good. I'll ask for feedback at the end of the second session because we've got one more to go. But it was great. Do you guys have any just quick questions about tomorrow before we get off?
No.
This
This session's really helped actually to make me think about my character a bit more. Like I've been a bit more geared towards sort of proper dungeon crawling rather than actually character. So
that's next session. So. You guys are at the precipice of the dungeon, so don't. I don't know. Keep the balance, I guess, or do however you wish. But
no, it's good. It's good. It's made me think. She's a bit less two-dimensional, or at least I'm thinking in that direction anyway. So it's good.
Yeah. I'm getting really anxious about the dungeon crawling bit because my character's built like mechanically and narratively for character stuff. I can't really do much dungeon crawling shit, but I'll get creative. I'll make something out of a door hinge.
Well, you've got some pretty sweet you got Burning Brand. I mean that's a weapon, right? So
yeah, it's a weapon I'm shit at using.
We'll see how it goes.
So in terms of flags, do we do we get rid of the ones that have been met and sort of?
No, you can keep them or change them whenever you wish, however you wish. Like if you're happy with it, if you're still enjoying interacting with it in that way, keep it. If not, change it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But it's not like bonds, like you change them when they get like burnt out, right?
No. You change them whenever you want. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I was sort of skim reading an article on so it's quite. If you think about like the torchbearer kind of one-word descriptors and then an additional description, that kind of it's kind of like that idea, I think. So
I kind of wanted to put the
with
feathers
that.
one in there because it was quite interesting from a narrative perspective, but I don't think I'll leave it in there for other sake.
Because everyone will just ask about you all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Tell me about those feathers.
Tell me again about those feathers.
Did that gross ass?
Tell me the stories. Tell me the story of the feathers again, please. It calms me so.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want them back, Jason. Thanks for that, man.
I enjoyed that character. That was a real on-the-fly character too, but I was happy.
Yeah.
All right.
She was excellent. I'm really digging this whole Victorian Gothic thing, by the way. I'm really into
it's
it.
cool.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bolt. It was fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Thanks very much.
take it easy.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.